Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of the Combat Chatters podcast. Today I'm joined with my brother Harry again. Phil couldn't make it. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today.
Loads, absolutely loads. Not just UFC either, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna talk a little bit on the obviously Dylan Dennis is fighting Logan Paul this weekend. KSI Tommy Fury in the main event of that.
Some crazy stuff has happened during the lead up to it. So
I think usually we've took not a bit of a stand, but we just haven't really spoke about this sort of influence, the kind of crossover boxing world. But I think these two fights, they've both got professional fighters in them, so we should talk about them.
they're also it's also getting very, very big.
Yeah,
like very big. All this YouTube boxing and all these little organisations that are trying to do things, they're all getting very big right now.
Yeah.
So I think it is decent just to talk about every now and then.
Yeah, I think as well, that was one thing I'm looking to do for the YouTube is talk about this influence boxing, because I've been a fan of it for a while.
Yeah, well, we've watched it since we've been to the event.
Yeah, we went
watched
to.
it. We've watched it.
I don't know. We went to watch one of the KSI.
Yeah, one of the KSI fights
where he fought two in one night.
Oh yeah, it was the 2-in-1 night. Was that? Oh, Pineda. Swarms and Pineda. Dean the Great decided he was going to backflip and land on his face.
Yeah, so yeah, we have been watching that influence side of boxing, but I mean, first we're gonna talk about the main event from last week. I think we should get straight into that. Obviously, there's not loads to talk about because the fight didn't last very long.
No,
but
not long at all.
Bobby Green coming out and with a massive upset, probably one of the upsets of the year, and knocks him out with one straight right hand as he switched stances.
Yeah. Sorry for last week because I genuinely thought that Grant Dawson was gonna get him down at least.
To be fair, I just said Bobby Green because sometimes I like to be out there, but I did see Grant Dawson taking him down. Grant Dawson's been so dominant at 10. I think he's 10-1, or maybe I think that's off the top of my head, but Bobby Green's come out and get a win like that. That's probably the biggest win of his career, and he's ranked, I think, number 12 now. So maybe the highest ranked he's been. Maybe he's been in the top 10 before back in the day, but
not for a while.
No,
not for a long while.
I've been waiting for Bobby Green.
I always loved Bobby Green fight, always.
But where do you see him going for it? Obviously, Renato Moicano and Dan Hooker, both the call-outs. What fight would you be more interested in seeing?
I like the Moicano fight, but I think the Hooker fight would probably be better. Would be a better fight for
actual action.
For action, for the fans. I still want to see him climb a little more. So maybe chuck him Moicano, because I think Moicano's an elite level fighter, but I think Bobby Green, looking the way he is at the moment,
I actually fancy Bobby Green against Dan Hooker as well.
Do you? Yeah.
I just think he's just a tough fight. If you're not going to take him down, he's just a nightmare to find the timing of. And Dan Hooker's, his head's always there to be hit. Bobby Green's one of the fast. He got some of the fast hands in the division.
The thing is he can just be hit for days.
I mean, he showed that.
He can be hit, and it will never deteriorate his willingness to come at you.
Yeah, definitely. He showed that in his last fight. I thought he was slowing down, but against Jalen Turner, I mean, he ate that head kick right to the face.
And Turner, you don't want to eat that from Jalen Turner.
No. So yeah, I think I'm leaning towards the Dan Hooker fight. I do think him Moicano is a very good fight. I think Moicano's kind of on the rise a little bit now. He's obviously been in it for ages, but coming up to lightweight, I think he looked a lot better than he did at featherweight. So any of those matchups are good for me.
Yeah.
We've got some fights to break down this weekend. Big main event, Barboza, Yusuff, the heavy hitters. But we're gonna run through our predictions. I'm not gonna spend loads of time talking about it. And getting us kicked off with the first fight of the card, we've got first one is Edgar Chavez against Daniel Da Silva. So it's an interesting fight. Oh no, sorry, Christian Rodriguez against Cameron Simon.
This is the first. Yeah, that's the first one.
Yeah, didn't want to miss that one.
No, don't miss that one.
This fight's a banger. Christian Rodriguez coming off a big win, beating Raul Rojas, handing him his first loss, and Cameron Simon's just 9-0, looked insane since he's come in the UFC. I think he's won 3 in a row now. So stylistically, how do you see this one going?
Well, it's good because Rodriguez he's very good with his takedown defense and stuff like that, but I don't think he's gonna have to use that at all because Simon's a very, very fast, very bouncy, loves to stand up. He very like, we haven't seen too much. We've seen a little bit of his stand up, but not as much as he would like to imitate. A lot of his fights, he gets taken down pretty quickly. They tend to want to close the distance very quickly against him. He's only 22 years old, man, as well.
Think
he's got
the second or third youngest fighter on the UFC roster.
You mentioned Rojas a minute ago as well. Like, Rodriguez fought him in his last fight. And Simon's only 4 years older than this guy.
And what impresses me with Simon the most is he fights such a high level above his age. Like his main sort of focus is to put a pace on someone, but it's not like Rojas against Rodriguez where he just owned all he did is shoot takedowns and gassed himself out. Simon's a lot more methodical with his
Rojas has got a lot of he's got a lot of learning to do in the sport, and he needs to calm himself and approach it with more brains and mentality. Slow down
I'm sure it's easy to get overexcited, isn't it?
18 years old, and the run that he has had in the UFC so far hasn't been terrible either.
I mean, he looked great in his last fight. Yeah,
he's looked sick. So yeah, I think Rodriguez could still very much do this because he wears on everybody. That guy can wear and tear on absolutely anybody, and he has just got one of them pace. But Simon's going to match that, I think,
definitely.
And that might confuse Rodriguez a little bit, but
yeah,
I don't really know what to call for this one.
I like the thing that you say where it could confuse him, because I think Simon's output is, I don't know how the numbers here, but it seems way crazier.
Yeah.
Like, Rodriguez is very slow, he takes his time.
Yeah, he's very patient.
Simon runs at you and he starts fighting straight away. And I think Rodriguez, overall, he just looks like such an accomplished MMA fighter. He's so calm in every position.
We could see Rodriguez try to take Simon down. Most of his other opponents have tried to do that so far in the UFC. And we've seen Rodriguez fight on the floor quite a lot.
Yeah.
So that could happen. Although I'd love to see him stand and bang, because both of them have hands and can stand with the best. Well, maybe not with the best of them just yet, but they're looking like they could.
And I think, as far as the grappling goes, I think Rodriguez is a bit more positionally aware. He sort of holds position better, where Simon kind of, every position he gets put in, he's looking to land damage. So it'll be really interesting, because I can't see either of these guys finishing each other. It'll be really interesting to see if those grappling exchanges do happen, and sort of how the judges score that over position or damage. So I think
it's still a bit shaky with all that. With the judging score system, we still don't really know where we stand with any of that at the moment. Ever since they changed all the rules of the judging system, no one really knows what the rules are now.
It's just damage over everything.
Yeah,
so it's meant to be anyway.
Well, it doesn't always get looked at like that.
Yeah, but I think going into a prediction, I think Christian Rodriguez is the favourite, which kind of surprises me a little bit, although he has looked great in his last few fights. So this, for me, is probably the hardest fight on the whole main card to predict. But
definitely.
I am... Oh, man, what am I going to go with? I have no idea. I think I'm going to go Christian Rodriguez decision. I think
he's just going to be a little bit more, a little bit too experienced. He's been there a little bit longer.
Calmer,
he's a lot older. He might just be calmer and
But I would not be. I mean, Simon's looks so good, and I think he has maybe more potential than Rodriguez.
He's definitely got more potential to finish the fight than Rodriguez does, I would say.
I mean, I think Rodriguez might be able to submit him.
Yeah, no, I'm not really counting Rodriguez out for a submission. I'm just saying, or a finish even. I'm just saying, I think if anyone screams submission or knockout in this, it's definitely Simon. He's very, very fast. Loves to bounce around the ring.
It's very kind of explosive.
Explosive with speed is the perfect way to describe him.
Getting into the next fight is a rematch that we saw literally a week or two ago. I think 2 weeks ago.
That was still a bit questionable for me.
But
if you haven't gone out Why would you drop your arm like that? Or any referee is going to stop that fight in that position. So I'm looking forward to what happens in this rematch. But
I mean, on the night, I was kind of saying, you know, a ref paid however much they are a year. That's their job to really see if he does go out. I think he could have done more to check out.
yeah, but I mean, he literally just lifted his hand though, and the minute he let go, he decided to drop his arm, which was a stupid thing to do as a fighter.
Think either way, the fight was done.
At that point, he was locked in. He was probably going out.
I think there's no point in talking for ages. This one, Daniel Da Silva is not he's struggling in the UFC. He fought some killers, but started
5-fight loss streak now, is it?
I think so, 5. Yeah, and he started losing to the kind of not the lower competition, still good fighters, but not the Jeff Molinas and the Francisco Figueiredos. So he's losing to like the lower competition now, and I think it's a hard matchup for him. Edgar how do I even say that? Charez. You know, he's a beast, a sort of Mexican gritty boxer, good jiu-jitsu, got some, I think, 6 submission finishes as well. So
from the ref standpoint, he put that guy out on the feet.
I think I'm gonna go. I don't really know with the rounds in this one because we haven't seen the loads from Edgar, but I think I'm gonna go second round submission.
I'm gonna go late first.
Yeah.
So late first submission, Charez.
Alright, so getting on to the next fight, a banger. I am so excited for this fight.
Petroski Pereira.
Michel Pereira's middleweight debut coming against Andrzej Petroski. I think his only loss is in the tough final against Brian Battle.
I'm very excited to see what he's like in middleweight. Pereira.
Same.
Very excited because he's a very big guy.
And we saw him struggle, obviously missing weight against Wonderboy last time out. That caused a lot of havoc in that division.
Loads.
Yeah, and Wonderboy wasn't happy. He tried to get a few different fights. So I think this one, it's a good move for his career. I think moving up to middleweight is something he had to kind of do because you know you can only miss weight so many times, and I think it's a decent matchup stylistically for him on his middleweight debut. I'm very interested to see how the grappling goes more than anything, just to see if he can sort of, because Petroski's a big dude.
Yeah, Petroski's massive. Petroski is massive.
Yeah.
He's a big, powerful guy. And he likes to overpower people. Like he can toss people that are just as big as him around, and it looks like he's tossing someone who's like a featherweight around.
Yeah.
It's mental. But Pereira's also very, very explosive and fast, and he's huge as well. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this fight quite a lot, actually, to be fair.
I think Pereira, it kind of favours him stylistically more in the stand-up because Petroski kind of, I mean, we saw in his last fight against Gerald Meerschaert, the main thing I noticed in that fight is how much he was reaching, and that is asking to be caught. When you're reaching at this level of fight and reaching for punches, just missing the head, Meerschaert could just lean out of the way of him.
Yeah.
He's not known for his defense, Meerschaert, but he could just lean back. He couldn't really land loads of significant strikes on the feet on Meerschaert, so I think I'm going to go.
Yeah, Meerschaert is coming towards the later days in his career as well, so yeah.
So I think it's an interesting one, but I think I'm going to go Michel Pereira decision.
Yeah, I'd love to see him get a knockout. It's been so long, and
I think 4 years now.
Yeah, 4 years since knockout or finish even. It's just decision after decision.
The submission that he got, because it was against some Russian dude, and
that was his second fight in the UFC.
Yeah, no, I think it was a couple more. It was after he took the loss.
Oh,
and I remember he kept slapping him. I can't remember the dude's name, but I remember there was a choke right at the end of that fight where the guy didn't actually tap, but the ref thought he did, so maybe that was overturned. I'm not sure, but
maybe.
I mean, he had it in the rear naked choke.
Yeah, it's just. I think he's got a little too because people were telling him he was way too reckless, and he got scared after he got beat. After he got beat a couple times because of it, or was it just the once actually?
I think it might have been twice.
It was twice.
I
don't know. It was once or twice anyway. And after he got beat, I think he was just a little too scared to be reckless, and he's over patient in comparison to what started his career.
Definitely. So, how do you think it plays out? What's your prediction?
I'm going to say Pereira, but Petroski could quite easily overpower him if it goes to the ground and just hold him there and do his thing.
Yeah. getting on to the next one, another banger matchup. This is actually a really underrated fight night.
This is probably my favourite fight on the card,
Yeah.
if I'm honest.
We have Jonathan Martinez against Adrian Yanez. Just a striker's dream in this one. Martinez coming off the big win to Said Nurmagomedov, and sort of, in my opinion, showed kind of how he even beats Adrian Yanez in that fight, kind of on the outside leg kicking.
Yeah, because but then again, you've got a Muay Thai style against a boxing style. They both like to get in close, clinch, in the pocket fighting, and this is a daydream for me.
Yeah,
I love this sort of fighting. This is one of the reasons I don't like professional boxing as much anymore, is because they all just dance around the ring and don't really do much. But this is going to be a banger fight. I can't wait. They both love to stand and strike. Martinez loves to cover his distance with wild leg kicks and stuff like that, which is something that Yanis probably isn't going to use much of. So he's got to watch out there. He needs to be checking them.
Adrian Yanez coming off the first big loss of his career. I don't know if he was undefeated after that, but definitely in the UFC undefeated. How do you think that will affect him going into this after a brutal KO from Rob Font?
Like it does every other fighter when they take their first big loss. He'll either make or break him. He'll either be too scared to utilize what he's got behind him, or he's going to come out there and prove everybody he's one of the best in the league, in the division, and he needs to come out and. That's what he needs to come out and do. I love Yanez's fighting style.
I think his fighting style is so dangerous as well, because he wants to time you with an inch of you trying to time him. Do you know what I mean? Like, so he wants to catch you in every position you just miss on him.
Yeah.
So you know, like Rob Font showed, probably just a bit of a better boxer than Adrian Yanez.
Yeah, it's still, their styles are still very different, even though they're both very boxing heavy.
I think Rob Font is just technically just way better. Yeah,
he's one of the best in the UFC.
And in that fight, he looked insane. Yeah, just for pure boxing.
Yeah, like he's one of the best MMA boxers I've ever watched.
Yeah, I think they train out of the New England gym, and they have a lot of them sort of boxers. Qatar trains there as well, so they've got literally like the same style.
Again, Qatar's another one of the best you can see in that.
And I think this fight, it's a tough matchup because Martinez has got finishing potential. We have seen it. Adrian Yanez, we've seen a lot more finishing potential from him. He is dangerous with his hands.
Yeah, he can hit you.
His slip counters are some of the best in the UFC.
Yeah, I think you might have taken a page out of his book then. His little slip counter.
That is what I aim for in the fight. It's just so pleasing to watch, I feel.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a very hard matchup for both guys here. It's a harder one to call as well.
Yeah, I'm actually, as much as I love Yanez and would love to see him win this, I think Martinez is just going to grind on him a little bit too much, and he's not going to be able to let his hands go as much as we'd like to see.
I'm gonna go Jonathan Martinez decision. That's what
decision. I reckon he'll just grind out a 3-round decision too.
Yanez is a tough guy. Obviously, got dropped savagely in his last fight, but Rob Font hit him with perfect shots.
No matter what this fight, no matter what this fight concludes in the end, this is one of the fights that on paper has potential to be a fight of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I said to you before the podcast, I said, if Adrian Yanez very well should win this fight, but Martinez, he really impressed me against Said Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, just to withstand the
wildness,
and the output.
And he controlled it so well, and he's just technically a very good fighter. He is very hittable, which Adrian Yanez might lap up.
Yeah, he might.
If he leaves his head on the centre line. I think
a lot of Muay Thai fighters do tend to leave their heads smack bang in the centre.
I think if Adrian Yanez is, back full of confidence, I think he can very well pull it off. But I think he'll just kind of have a slow start. We've seen him start slow a few times. In my opinion, he lost the Davy Grant decision, which it's an awkward fight. But Jonathan Martinez, he's a beast. Davy Grant is too, but Martinez is like a cleaner sort of Muay Thai version. So I think it's a very hard matchup for him, and that's why I've gone Jonathan Martinez. But getting into the woman, I think it's the women's co-main event now.
Yeah.
Not a massive fight to talk about. I think it's a kind of a weird co-main event, but
Yeah, I mean, I probably would have switched the co-main and the one before it. Yanez and Martinez probably deserve that spot over Maia and Araujo.
or even Andre Petrosky and Michel Pereira. I mean, Pereira's on a really good run, and so is Petrosky. None of them have lost in a while, I don't think.
No.
So either of them could have been co-main, but not complaining.
No, not complaining.
Viviana Araujo is on a 2-fight losing streak. She lost to.
Why has she got a co-main on losing streak?
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
She lost to Alexa Grasso, which sort of aged well. Alexa Grasso decision. So but she looked terrible in the Amanda Ribas fight, if we're honest.
Yeah,
and I think this is not a great matchup for her. Jennifer Maia, in my opinion, is kind of going to just try to keep it standing. She's a more crisp boxer, and I'm going to go Jennifer Maia decision.
Yeah, it's going to be a decision Maia for me as well.
Getting into the explosive main event, this one is a crazy fight. People not were happy when it was announced as a main event of a fight night, but people can't complain about the fighting style because both guys knock out Sadiq.
Both these can knock you out from anywhere, like hands, legs, no matter what. They can do anything.
Edson Barboza is one of the best highlight reels in the UFC,
and he's got one of the nastiest leg kicks I've ever seen on this planet too.
When him and Justin Gaethje were just exchanging leg kicks,
that's disgusting to watch.
Yeah. Sadiq Yusuff, I'm a bit worried for his inactivity.
Yeah. Barboza does like to keep it active as well, and if you're not being active, he will chase you down, just follow you around and hit you.
Sadiq fought twice last year, but this is his first fight this year. He's kind of
it's late in the year as well.
Yeah, he's kind of had one fight a year since 2019, so it's not like he's been quite inactive. He lost quite badly to Arnold Allen, which hasn't aged too badly because Arnold Allen showed how good he is.
Yeah.
But this is a hard matchup. Barboza is an animal, and not being active, I don't know how Sadiq would deal with that.
Yeah, and the only thing that Barboza's getting old now too. Mind you got to take that into perspective. I mean that. It's never gonna knock his gas tank or anything. He's always been a warrior with that sort of stuff. But you have just got to take in, like, Yusuff's a huge guy for that weight category. But Yusuff's arms are like the size of some middleweights. For Christ's sake,
you told me that Barboza would have ever made featherweight when he was fighting in lightweight back in the day. Fighting Khabib and stuff. I would have never believed anyone that he'd make featherweight.
No, there's a few fighters like that. Look what fucking Davidson Figueiredo has to cut.
I mean, he's
when he did
half a weight class now, but thank God.
Yeah, thank God. Like, he looked unhealthy when he was cutting that.
Yeah, and he fought unhealthy in some fights too.
Looked like he was about to pass out walking in some of the times. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go for Barboza as a prediction, but Yusuff's a dangerous guy. Like he is, he just doesn't. He hasn't got enough output for me. But if he comes into this and has the output that Barboza has, then it could be a very long day for Barboza because he's younger and fresher and he could be meaner.
He could have made.
We just haven't seen it from him yet.
Think of the improvements he could be making from each fight. He did look really good in his 2 fights last year. He's on, I think, a 3-fight win streak now, or 2-fight win streak now. So, I think I do kind of agree with you. I think Barboza. I think he just hits. So he's had some weird performances at featherweight, but when he's on at featherweight, he looks like one of the most. He looks like he could beat most featherweights when he's switched on. Yeah. And I think he's going to turn up here, and
I hope he does, because I love Barboza, but I hope both of them turn up to their full potential, because that will make this that could be another fight of the night, fight of the year. Sorry, that could be chaos. They both hit so hard,
and I think we've seen Yusuff wobbled a bit, and I I think that if Barboza lands clean, it's a long day.
Yeah, especially, and it's not like he can hit you with just one thing. It's not like he's just got a right hand.
No.
He can hit you with anything. His head kicks are some of the
Yeah.
nastiest I've seen.
And
his body kicks are some of the nastiest I've seen, and his leg kicks probably are the nastiest I've seen. Like, especially back in his earlier day in the UFC.
I think that's the main thing with him, is he breaks you down from top to bottom
like,
to top.
Literally, and
starts with your legs, then your body, then he's gonna head kick you. We saw it with the Dan Hooker fight.
We did see it with the Dan Hooker fight.
One of the most brutal, just beat him up every.
How did Hooker eat that one, man?
He ate so much punishment.
Dan Hooker is an animal.
Built different.
Literally built different. So Aussies just are, to be honest. A lot of them are just built so much differently for this game.
Yeah, I think, given a prediction, I'm going Barboza, and I'm going to go second round TKO. I think he's going to, I'm going to go third round TKO.
Third round, early third.
Yeah,
early third.
I think he'll
round,
break him down to the legs and slowly catch him with something up top. But I mean, I would not be surprised if Yusuff just catches him early and finishes him, because I don't know how Barboza will take a big shot from Yusuff. He probably won't, to be fair. That kind of makes me want to put Yusuff, to be fair.
You pick now. we can't swap. But yeah, like I said the same. Yusuff could quite easily do this. He is very powerful. He's one of the most powerful in that division. In that division, in my opinion, in that weight category. But Barboza, again, he's a nasty guy, and he's just so much more active.
Yeah, and the experience, who he's fought.
There's so much more experience behind him.
But that's our picks from this week's card. I think I got 5 out of 5 last week, so hopefully
you did get 5 out of 5. I got 3, I think, but I was rooting for Bobby.
I think we've got quite a bit of news to talk about today. I think the big one is, should we start off with the USADA stuff?
Yeah, come on, let's do that then.
So basically,
there's been a lot of
a lot in the last couple of days.
A lot in the last couple of days about this. Like, Conor, obviously.
Yeah, I think from what I've heard, Conor coming back into the testing pool, the UFC kind of tried to not sneak him in, but they were trying to sort of bypass the 6 months testing, and USADA really didn't take good to that. They made comments about something one of the commentators said they really didn't like, and basically they rendered their deal. I think it's going to end this January, so
so no more USADA, guys. What's going to happen? Are we going to have another testing pool come in, or is everyone just going to be jacked? Are we gonna have a TRT tour?
I've heard the other big one. I think it's called VADA, and that's the one a lot of people are saying is going to be the next one. But
I've heard they can be quite strict as well.
Yeah,
just as strict.
Yeah,
maybe more.
I think they do a lot of the Olympic drug testing and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, you don't want to mess with that stuff.
Exactly.
They test properly.
Well, I think the biggest worry with that is, USADA could send people to check on a random check-in on Alec Volkanovski at 6 a.m. in Australia. Can VADA do that? It's not an easy task to be sent. Imagine how many fighters are in different countries. Yeah. You've got to check every single one.
Yeah.
It can't be easy. So, and a lot of people are saying, well, maybe they'll just get someone we've never heard of before, and that would probably not be very good for the sport.
No,
but
no. If they get, that won't be good for the sport.
If it comes out with some weird,
weird. Yeah, if it comes out with some weird testing pool name, then we're screwed. Like, we'll just have loads of Vitors and loads of Brock Lesnar's and people like that all stacked out of their gills.
What's your honest opinion on what's going to happen? It's just crazy, isn't it?
I can't believe it's ending.
It's crazy.
I still think that they might find a way to work it out with them, if I'm honest. Like,
maybe. To be
I
fair.
still think that Dana White will fight for it a little bit because I know they're a pain in the ass, and Dana's always seen them as a pain in the ass. But like, it's so much of a ball ache to not to go and find someone new that's going to be equally as good, and then they're gonna have the same sort of rules and stuff like that. They're not going to find that.
I think also Dana's a guy you don't want to piss off.
No, but
if they piss him off with this, he's going to fuck him off straight away.
Yeah, but that's true again.
He won't go back and beg. He won't
go back and beg. He won't go back and beg, but I don't think he's gonna let he seemed a little bit nicer in his old age recently, to be
yeah.
fair. Have you seen what he's given away 7 contracts on a card and shit on Contender Series?
And if you can pay people some more money.
only if he starts dishing out a couple of extra 20,000 or something.
Spend 12k to turn up.
Yeah, so
I mean that sounds a lot, but for a fighter, 12k.
So that,
That's not that's a long chance.
Yeah, that is a long chance. Anyway, yeah, I think they'll try and get USADA back, but I don't know how well that will go.
I think I have no idea. Actually, I don't know what I think. I do actually see your point. They might try and get USADA back. I think Vardo is the smart one to do, although you can't guarantee. I am just worried there's going to be juice heads everywhere in the UFC, but
yeah, you don't want that. I mean, it would be fun for
it'd
be fun for a little bit, and then it will just get fucking tedious to watch.
If we want to see that, we can just load up any pre-USADA UFC event and everyone's on
free kickboxing and shit like that. Oh, that's all you have to do. Go on YouTube. Go on YouTube and search old fights. You just see loads of juice heads killing each other.
So, just what was your overall thoughts on when you actually read that? How do you feel about the situation overall?
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Shocked is the main one.
Do you think it's for Conor McGregor? Do you think that's
it's all over Conor? It's all over Conor, isn't it? They just no, it's not all over Conor. UFC have known to take the piss out of USADA. Yeah. They have been over the years. They have been known to take the piss out of USADA. They've snuck people past USADA testing pools. Yeah, they've done so much. They've done so much to avoid testing from USADA. This has been the final snap. Just because Conor's a big name, like the biggest name ever in UFC, doesn't mean he gets a free reign to do whatever he wants. And USADA has taken that and gone, no, Dana, you're not doing this, mate.
Yeah. Mine's the same sort of view. Just pure shocked when I read it. I'm just really kind of worried I felt a bit like worried. I don't really know where it's going to go.
I'm worried that it's going to turn the most professional organisation for MMA in the world into an absolute what's it going to be? Street beefs now, for Christ's sake.
At the same time, we'll be here for either way. If everyone's on steroids, we'll still watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's always. That will never stop it. I was watching it when they were all on steroids, to be honest.
So, yeah, that's our overall thoughts on the USADA situation. I think just the even more crazy news for me, I was shocked and gutted for Charles Oliveira pulling out of the fight, got a cut. But man, the backup was a bit better than Gamrot, which was the planned backup fighter.
Oh, I'm so glad it wasn't. Yeah. I mean, Gamrot's a good fighter, not taking any respect away from him. I'm just saying, a little bit boring as a step in, and especially stepping in for Oliveira. That's a step down.
Yeah, we got one of the best anticipated fights that lived up to the hype. We've got the rematch, Volk taking on short notice. In my opinion, their last fight for me is one of the best fights in any combat sport ever, just because you have two guys ranked number 1 pound for pound and number 2 pound for pound, and they are in the same weight as each other that they can go and have a fight, and it was that competitive. Like that's
like small though, man, and Makshev's big.
But I'm just
like I'm just talking
about the first one.
The first one was sick. It was such a good fight.
Like you got to go back in like the golden era of boxing to find stuff where that is happening, where like you have that many just great fights and that actually live up to that hype.
Yeah,
and him jumping on 2 weeks' notice. Do you think that's kind of up? Maybe it kills it if he loses it.
Well, it all depends. It all depends whether he turns up or not. If
he's gonna turn
up. I know it's always Volk. It's Volkanovski. He's always going to turn up. It's Volk, but it's whether he's going to turn up like he's had an 8-week training camp or a week training camp.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what it comes down to.
And he just had surgery.
Has he actually?
Yeah, on his hand. He just had hand surgery a few weeks ago.
Hand surgery is not massive.
But it was for a broken hand. I think it was.
I mean, that's not going to stop him smashing someone in the face. Volkanovski's one of them people that is going to smash you in the face even if he knows his hand's smashed to pieces.
I'm not going to give a prediction, but I still think it will be a very competitive fight.
I think it will too. I genuinely do, but I I would love Volk to go up and
It's a big
double
feat.
champ.
I'll be
but
very surprised if he wins.
I don't think he was going
No.
to. No, me neither. I would love him to, but I don't think he will.
And maybe this one has probably ended up a better matchup. I think Charles on a full camp. I really wanted to see that matchup again, but
So
Kamaru
did I.
Usman stepping in to make his middleweight debut against
this is
Chimaev.
mental, and he's huge.
Yeah,
he is
he
a
talked about going to
massive,
middleweight,
massive guy.
but you know,
Scary guy.
we're talking about Hamzat Chimaev here.
Yeah.
Man. And Usman probably didn't look the same last time out. He's older now. He's talked how bad his knees are. I think it's better that he hasn't had a full training camp because
I think
there's less tear on his body.
I think he's just gonna. I don't know. Chimaev, we've seen him fade a fair few times.
Yeah, well, only once really.
Wow.
But he did fade. But that was a war as well. Like you can't really.
Yeah. But
does seem like
will he be able to withstand?
It's
what?
3 rounds as well, though. I really am heavily favouring Chimaev in that one.
Yeah.
I think Usman, I think he's 36 or 37 now. He lost his last 2 fights, up a weight class, and Chimaev's just a beast. Like, it's just bad. This is bad.
Yeah.
And I really want Usman to pull it off.
Usman's big, man. No.
It's a better fight than the Costa one.
Yeah.
It's going to be more competitive.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think the jiu-jitsu is a problem for Usman as well. He doesn't have great jiu-jitsu, and if he does get taken down, the wrestler's instinct just to stand up and give up your back every time.
True.
And we've seen Usman do that. He tried doing that with it.
Yeah, I'm not giving a prediction on this.
No, I'm not giving a prediction.
No.
Usman could very well win.
Yeah,
I wish it was 5 rounds.
I'm going to watch more of the build up to the fight before I give a prediction on that.
I wish it was 5 rounds though. That is annoying.
Yeah, why haven't they done that?
Because it's not a champion. It's big pay-per-view, isn't it?
But it's just nonsense.
They've done it with a few. Did they make Nick Diaz, Robbie Lawler 5 rounds? I feel like they did.
I think they might have. Yeah.
They've done it with a few.
Yeah, they should. They should do that more often. It would definitely get the fans more hyped. It's just I doubt the fighters want to. They want to fight 5 rounds.
And so getting into the last little bit, we're just going to brush over. Give a prediction on the Tommy Fury KSI event.
Yeah, this is not. No, I want to talk more about Dillian though. But,
let's get started on Dylan Dennis
because this shit is mental.
Yeah.
That's actually something that you should not be happening. Before. It's 3 days.
The security.
Yeah, innit? 3 days before a fight, and there's no security doing anything to stop that.
And to give you some context on what
sorry, we haven't explained what we're talking about.
Dylan Dennis, Logan Paul face off that they're having their boxing match this weekend. Dennis gets a bottle thrown at him and proceeds to launch the metal microphone into Logan Paul's face.
Yeah, and it looked more like he smacked him with it than launched it.
But
he did let go of it. It was just he winged it, and he was about he was about a foot away from his face when he let go of the fucking microphone. Logan Paul knocked Howard away. He
got rocked.
Yeah, he got rocked, covered his head, and then guarded himself out of the arena or the little room they were doing it in anyway. So yeah, this is mental. You got one of the biggest YouTube boxing fights to ever happen in 3 days' time, and Dylan Dennis decides he's going to smash him in the head with a metal microphone.
I just Dylan Dennis all over.
Yeah, it is. But that's just come on, man. You're saying how you're gonna smash him. You're gonna beat him in under 2 rounds or whatever it was he was saying. Yeah. You're saying that because you smashed him in the head with a microphone, mate, and you knew you were gonna do something like that.
Yeah,
that's what it points to me.
How do you think the fight's actually going to go?
Well, at the moment, we don't know if it's actually going to happen. We've seen a retweet from Logan saying that he's all right and he can fight.
The cut wasn't that bad.
No, okay, I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any of the after bit. I saw the tweet from Logan, but if that's something that tomorrow he could wake up and have concussion and then fight over.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's probably not going to happen, but it could very well happen.
And
Logan does look so so big, scarily big, man.
He's so angry.
Maybe they need to get USADA in for Misfits.
They've been asking, to be fair. Dylan's been asking, Bryce Hall was asking.
I'm not surprised. Dylan's been asking. There is some scared little boy in him.
I think it's a hard fight for Dylan Dennis to win.
He's gonna lose that.
Yeah,
like especially the way Logan, like, why the way he's riled up this fight as well, like talking about his fiance and all of the shit that he has said about her, man.
some crazy shit.
Logan is ready to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be lucky. He'll be lucky. I'll be lucky. No, he'll be lucky if he walks out of that arena. Like, I reckon he's being stretchered out of it. Like, because Logan's a good boxer. He's just never had that anger and that fuel to
fought like a pussy.
Like, he's fought like a pussy because he's never hated the person he's fought. Not truly.
No.
But like him and KSI are friends. Like it was all just a YouTube beef that they were doing it for fans, and now he's fighting someone that he truly hates. He could quite
hate him.
The stuff that he's said about his whole entire life, he is like disrespect, man. I'd want to kill someone.
Yes.
He's going to be stretched out there, I think, if Logan comes in the way I think he's going to.
So I'm just going to go out there. I'm going to say I think Logan Paul was probably. I'm going to say third, fourth round knockout.
Yeah, I reckon.
I'm not actually. And then again, the main event we'll talk about quickly.
We'll talk about it quickly. It's only a quick one because KSI is
going to smoke him.
Yeah, KSI's in out of his league here. He's fucked. And believe me, I'm a Sidemen fan. I've been watching them for like 4 or 5 years. I'm nearly the same age as most of them. I've been to their event. Like, I've been to the Misfit events. I've seen KSI fight. I'm a fan of KSI, but he is in way out of his league here. Like, he's not got a chance.
I think he will survive quite a while.
I think he'll survive quite a while just because Tommy doesn't try to kill you.
No.
Like, he's not
He
one
might,
of them.
though.
KSI.
He does have no respect for KSI.
KSI is an annoying prick as well. To be fair, like
if
I was in a ring with KSI, and like if I was fighting KSI and we had that build up and all that shit, just the cringy ass shit and the annoyance that KSI causes, I'd want to smoke him too.
To be honest,
and he's nowhere near the boxer.
No, that's kind of maybe one of the reasons I didn't talk about YouTube boxing, because when they're on there trying to like pull each other's trousers down and saying I'm the one who sees John Cena in this, I don't think it's really appropriate for it. But I want to talk about serious.
I'm the guy who can see John Cena.
But I think it's a good card overall. I think we're going to see some good fights.
Yeah, the thing is like we say that, and it is just YouTube boxing, which is like it's made to be funny. It's made to be more for fans, like for younger fans as well, and. It's a show.
Yeah,
I think like WWE, it's a bit of fun.
I think people who hate on it, it's just sad.
But
just grow up.
The thing is
they've
actually, some of them grow up.
Yeah,
some of them, the ones that get real shitty over it, grow up. But at the end of the day, they do have some insane talent in there too.
Some of them.
Some of them look like a year training for professional boxing, and they could be professional boxers.
Yeah,
I'm not saying all of them, but there's a handful or two that look like they could do something with what they're doing.
Yeah. So I think that we've covered pretty much everything that we've got to cover today. Loads of news. I cannot wait to break down that Abu Dhabi card.
Neither.
The Volk Islam fight and the Usman. That might be one of the best cards ever. That's one maybe we'll dedicate a whole podcast to and do the prelims and everything.
Yeah, we'll do the whole podcast. We'll talk about some of the build up and some of the
So I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Make sure you share with your friends. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify. Just share us around. That's how we'll grow, and we'll keep delivering content.